And we welcome you live to Erith Field, Willard Stadium at High Point University for the first installment of the broadcast of HPU's club baseball team. 2022 fall season coming to a close, and we'll bring you every game of the spring season once that comes around. But the Panthers have had a strong start to their fall season. They have a 7-3 fall record with a 5-3 record against D1 club teams. And it's a strong start followed up by a season that went very, very well last year. They were as high as third in the nation in Division II, and they made it all the way to the regional champions. They finished with a 21-4 regular season record, did the Panthers, and they ended the season 6th overall with 3 All-Americans. Pretty strong start, and today they'll take on the 49ers of UNC Charlotte. The starting lineup for the Panthers: Quinn Dewitt in center field, Dan Savino playing second base, Brent Rowe, the catcher, Oliver Cush, the left fielder, Brady Oswick, the third baseman, Cam Lee in right field, Cole Mitchell at first, Brian Coleman, the designated hitter, and James Harris at short. And the starting pitcher right now for the Panthers is Nico Vasquez, and you see him on the mound there as he gets set up to go. We're about set here for the first pitch. Check swing, didn't go. They'll appeal. Oh, yes, he did. And it's a first strike. Good way to start the game for Nico Vasquez. And that one comes in low. It's going to be a 1-1 count now. There's a stroke, a deep fly into left field, but making the running catch is the left fielder Cush, and it'll be one away. Momentarily, I'll be joined by Mike Guerriere in the booth for color commentary. So a quick and efficient start to the evening on the mound for Vasquez. That one's missing the zone. It's going to be ball 1. Up at the plate for UNC Charlotte is Dylan Peden. That one's fouled back. And it'll make it a 1-1 count. Here's the pitch from Vasquez, and it's a swing and a miss. A good one there from Vasquez. That'll make it a 1-2 count. That's a swing, and he made him look silly that time. 2 away for the Panthers. What a pitch there from Vasquez to sit down the second of the inning. And again, very efficient start for Vasquez. 6 pitches, 2 outs. And it'll bring up Joey Tutors, the number 3 spot for UNC Charlotte. His first pitch is going to be fouled off to the right side, out of play at strike 1. That one's grounded to the right side weakly. Off the mound to get it is Vasquez. He'll flip on to first. And a quick 3 up, 3 down for the Panthers. And that'll get us to the bottom of the first. Still scoreless here in High Point. And we're back for the bottom of the first. Set to lead off for the Panthers is Quinn Dewitt, the center fielder. First pitch is low and away for ball one. Tommy Boast on the mound for UNC Charlotte, the righty. He delivers, and the 1-0 is outside yet again. No, that's a late called strike. Had me fooled, and it makes the count 1-1. That one's low, and that one will be ball two as it skips its way in. Two-one pitch. That one's fouled off to the left side. And it will make it 2-2. Fifth pitch of the at-bat, 2-2 count, here we go. Boast delivers to the center fielder. That one's taken low for ball three. So a full count now to the Panther center fielder wearing number 5. And here's the pitch. That one's fouled off to the left side yet again. Do it behind the curve. And it'll stay a full count. That one's outside. Ball 4, leadoff walk for the Panthers. And they have one aboard. And now the second man up is the second baseman for the Panthers. It's Dan Savino, and the first pitch is high for ball one. Bost has already matched the pitch count for the first inning for his opponent Vasquez, who had a very, very efficient first for the Panthers. 8 pitches, 3 outs, and the 9th of the inning for Bost is high, and that'll be ball 2, 2-0 count to the Panthers second baseman. And UNC Charlotte's going to take a brief mound visit here. Bost a bit wild off the bat, so we'll see what happens here. Dewitt is a threat to steal. We'll see what happens there. Dewitt was one of the 3 All-Americans for the Panthers last season. So a strong returning talent for High Point. 2-0 pitch. And taken all the way that time is ball 3. And a back pick from the catcher. It'll still be a 3-0 count, and safe at first is Dewitt. .30 pitch taken all the way, and that one's going to be a called strike one on the inside corner. I'll tell you, these called pitches are a bit late from the home plate umpire, but hey, we'll take it. 3-1 count. Runners off and going, pitches outside, so safe at second anyway is Dewitt, and that's the second consecutive walk issued by Bost. And Savino is aboard, a runner in scoring position early for the Panthers. And up is Brent Rowe, the catcher for the Panthers. Inside pitch on the first delivery. He offers that. It fouls it off out of play. And it's strike one. Big lead at second for Dewitt. Savino a hefty lead at first, too. That pitch is also fouled back out of play. And that'll make it an 0-2 count to the 3-hitter for the Panthers. That one's low and in, off and running for third, and the throw is high. Ball's going to get into left field. Gunning for third is Savino, and the throw's offline. The Panthers score. It's 1-0. Dewitt makes it all the way in. He was running on the wild pitch, and then on the throwing error by the catcher, he scores. And all the way to third is Savino. It was ball one, so a 1-2 count at the plate. But again, 1-0 Panthers here in the bottom of the first. Rowe, 1-2 pitch. He'll take that one low in the dirt as well. Makes it 2-2, count even. Still nobody out. 17th pitch of the inning for Bost. Here it is. That one's grounded back up the middle. This will score a run, and it gets through the shortstop. Second error of the inning. 49ers still looking for their first out, and already it's 2-0 High Point. Savino scores on the ground ball up the middle. Is a good piece of hitting by Rowe. Forced the defense to make a play, and it worked out for the Panthers. It'll bring up the cleanup man, Oliver Cush, the left fielder. So 2 walks, 2 errors, 2 runs on the board for High Point. And that first pitch is a called strike one on the outside corner. Nice spot from Bost. There's a swing and a miss and a back pick to first, not in time. It's an 0-2 count. Here's the pitch, off and running for second, swing and a miss. And they'll get their first out of the inning. Will the 49ers. Cush with the strikeout, but advancing to second on the steal is Brent Rowe. And there's one away with another runner in scoring position for the Panthers. So this will bring up Brady Oswick, the third baseman. That pitch is very far inside, nearly hit him, and it's an 0-1 count. Bost will step off. Swing and a miss on that one. It'll even the count up at 1. Faking the steal at second that time was Rowe. Here's the pitch. That one's low and away. It's ball 2. Not a very efficient inning, to say the least, for Bost, although errors haven't helped his case. That one's right up the middle, and that's off the second baseman's glove. And Oswick will reach safely, rounding third, heading for home. The throw is on time and on the money. So that's out number 2 at the plate. As Rowe got waved around, he's gunned down at home plate for out number 2. But Oswick advances to second on the error. High Point still looking for their first hit of the ball game. but it will bring up the right fielder, Cam Lee. There's a swing and a miss, and it will be strike one. Another swing and a miss there, and a big one at that. It'll make it an 0-2 count to the Panther right fielder. On deck is the first baseman, Cole Mitchell. Here's the pitch. It's just a bit high, and it'll be ball one. Very close that time. Oswick at second. Throw back to second. Not quite in time, but Oswick had a hefty secondary after the pitch was ball two to Lee. Making it a 2-2 count. Runner still on second. Well, I apologize. It had been a 3-1 count, so Lee takes first on the walk as that pitch was low and away. So now two runners on yet again for the Panthers. And Cole Mitchell comes to the plate. That one's grounded to the right side. Second baseman Fields flips on to the shortstop covering the bag, and it'll be out number 3 on the fielder's choice to the first pitch on Mitchell. Nearly 30 pitches that inning for Bost on the mound for UNC Charlotte. And we'll head to the second inning. Panthers get 2, though. It's 2-0 High Point after 1. Back here at Willard Stadium, High Point Panthers back on the defensive side of the field. First pitch of the inning number 9 overall for Nico Vasquez, is fouled off to the left side by Sully Stevens. And he'll take that pitch low for ball 1 to even the count up. That one's popped high into the air, right side. Charging in to get it is Mitchell. Excuse me, that's Lee. And he'll make the catch for out number 1. So it'll bring up Stanley Reed. First pitch. Inside corner, called strike 1. Nice spot that time from Vasquez to make it an 0-1 count. That one's grounded back up the middle. Shortstop charging in to make the play. He fields it, fires on to first, and it's out number 2. Nice play by the Panther shortstop, James Harris. And it's 2 gone in the top of the second. So that'll bring up Xander Burton with 2 down for the 49ers. They're 2-2 this fall, coming off of their last game, a 13-8 win over Clemson. They finished 14-8 in season last year, conference champs, and ranked number 28 overall among D1 teams. That first pitch is ball 1 to Xander Burton. Ball 2. That one's roped to the right side, and the second baseman makes a nice sliding play. Great job by Salvino to put that one away for out number 3. So yet again, the 49ers retired in order, and we'll go to the bottom of the inning. Still 2-0 High Point. Bottom of the second getting started here in High Point. Brian Coleman, the designated hitter, set to lead off for the Panthers. 2-0 advantage for High Point. Still looking for their first hit. First pitch to Coleman, big swing. And It's going to be strike one, I believe. That was an odd play. And that's pitch number 30 for Vasquez. 0-1. Outside for ball one to even the count up. Coleman, another returner for this Panther team. That was on the regionals squad last year, made it all the way to the World Series in Butler, PA. That pitch catches the corner, and it's a called strike two. There's already action in the UNC Charlotte bullpen as that pitch is outside for ball two to even the count up yet again. The 2-2 to Coleman. That one's grounded to the left side in play. Third baseman charging on, tough play. Fields it and makes the play for out number one. And that'll bring up the 9-spot James Harris, the shortstop. First pitch to Harris. Big looping breaking ball that finds its way into the zone from above, and it's strike one called. One pitch finds its way to the backstop out of the reach of the catcher for the 49ers, and it's a 1-1 count, evened up. There's a swing and a miss from Harris, and that'll make it a 1-2 count. And time called by Harris at the plate. So he'll take a step back. Can't get a number on who's up in the 49er bullpen. We'll give that to you when we have it. That one's skied to the left side into no man's land, and it'll drop for the Panthers' first hit of the ball game. A single for the 9-hitter Harris, and so one aboard with one gone for the Panthers, and it'll bring up the leadoff man, Do It. He squares to bunt, and it's fouled off for strike one. Harris on first is a speedy guy. Do It the same. Anytime you see a guy batting leadoff playing center field, you automatically assume he's got some wheels on him. So showing bunt, no surprise. Off and running. Pitch inside. It's going to make its way to the backstop. And Harris slides into second. If he had stayed up and made a turn, he could have easily found his way all the way to third. But instead, he still finds himself in scoring position. Do It pulled back the bunt in time. So that makes it a 1-1 count, and Harris advances to second on the passed ball. One pitch, square the bunt, perfectly placed, but it will roll foul. That was a great looking bunt that time. by Dewitt, but just finds its way into foul territory, so 1-2 count now, and Harris will retreat to second. That was the 40th pitch of the outing for Bost on the mound for UNC Charlotte. Dewitt walked his first time up. See what he can do here. Checks his swing. He did hold back. And that'll even the count up at 2. Two-two pitch, here it is. Just missed the outside corner, and it will make the count full. Again, Harris on second. Dewitt at the plate. Savino on deck. Here's the pitch. And a swing and a miss, and it's the second strikeout of the evening for Boston. It's out number 2 here in the second. So as mentioned, it will bring up Dan Savino, who walked, advanced to third on an error by the catcher, and scored his first time up. Here's the pitch. That one's way outside. And it looks like Harris might be getting in the head of Bost out there on the mound. It's a 1-0 count. And time called at the plate, so Savino will take a step back. That one's fouled off to the left side, and a hot shot onto the netting at the dugout of UNC Charlotte. Make it a 1-1 count to Savino. That one's inside, and Savino will take a step back in order to avoid that one. Makes it a 2-1 count. That one gets away from the catcher. Harris hesitated, so he'll remain at second. But it was ball 3 to Savino. 3-1 count, 2 outs, runner in scoring position. May not seem like it early, but this is a crucial juncture for the Panthers. An extra run here could do them a lot of good. Three-one in the turf, and taking first is Savino, his second consecutive walk in as many innings, and it will bring up Brent Rowe, who reached on an error his last time up in the first. Rowe at the plate. Here's the first pitch. Finds its way in. First strike, 1 called. This will be pitch number 50 for the UNC Charlotte right-hander. That's a breaking ball. Doesn't quite catch the corner. And it will even the count up at 1.
Chloe, link it again. Link it again.
1-1 pitch, low and away, makes it 2-1 now. Runners on first and second. And a quick look at Harris at second base will keep him close. Rowe, another one of those All-Americans from last year. He's a big hitter. That's why you find him in the 3 spot. And that one's into the right center field gap, charging on to make the catch. And it will be made by the right fielder for the 49ers, and that'll do it for the second. High Point threatening, but the 49ers keep them at bay, and it's 2-0 still as we head to the third. And we're back here at Willard Stadium for the top of the third. 2-0 High Point, still the score between UNC Charlotte and High Point University. Back on the mound for his third inning of work is Nico Vasquez, and the first pitch is ball 1 to Nick Schaffler for the 49ers. That one finds its way to the outside corner, evens the count up. One pitch. Good breaking ball, but it's just low. That one's lined to the right side. This one might stay fair. No, it's going to carry foul. That was a good stroke that time, though, by Schaffler. Number 15 in green. The 49ers still looking for their first hit. That one's up and in. Little chin music for Schaffler that time. Evens the count up at 2. 2-2 pitch. 3-2. That one's low and away. Ball 4. And the 49ers have their first base runner of the evening. So it'll bring up Josh Schindler with one aboard, nobody away quite yet. That one's a bit low, ball one, good take that time from Schindler. Not a lot of first pitch swings for the 49ers so far tonight. And that single from High Point the last time around was the first hit of the game. With as many base runners as we've seen so far tonight, kind of hard to believe that we've only had one hit in the ball game. But that is the case so far. As we'll have a quick little mound visit. Vasquez maybe communicating with his catcher, maybe mixing up signals a little bit. There's a big swing and a miss. That's the Vasquez we've been missing. Pitch number 23 on the outing is a big first strike that time. Gets Vasquez back into the count. On deck is the number 9 spot. That one's fouled off to the left side. And we've received word that Tommy Bost is the number 9 hitter, so Bost has not been on the mound for UNC Charlotte. We'll try and figure out who the unnamed pitcher is for the 49ers as soon as we can, but for now, Schindler at the plate, 2-2 count. Runner on first, nobody away, top of the third. High Point up 2-0. The pitch from Vasquez. From the stretch, good off speed, and it's a called strike 3. Second K of the evening for Vasquez, and it's an out, number 1, a big one at that. And nothing left for Schindler to do but ask for some encouragement from his teammates, tell him what he saw up there on the mound, and let Tommy Bost get his hacks at the plate. The number 9 hitter for the 49ers. Another good off speed, finds its way, just catches the top of the zone, called strike 1. Another good off speed, tried the same spot, missed that time, just high. That one right down broad. It's fouled off to the right side, and it'll be strike 2 with a loud thunk off the clubhouse at Steele. Schaffler takes his lead at first. The pitch from Vasquez, high and inside. Bost had to duck out of the way. It evens the count up at 2. Vasquez takes the rubber. Bost crowding the plate just a little bit. Quick pickoff. It was a good move, but not quite in time, just nearly missed. A good tag put on by the first baseman, Cole Mitchell. But again, just not quite in time. So the count's still 2-2. 2-2 pitch, line back up the middle. This is going to drop for a base hit. No, what a diving play by the right fielder. He charges on to make the catch, and it's a big out, number 2. Oh, I spoke too soon. What a play by Cam Lee. That ball hung up in the air for what seemed like forever. It looked like it was going to be a bloop single, and Lee, charging on from his position, makes the play. Couldn't quite double off Schaffler at first, but it'll bring up the top of the order, Matt Cowell, with 2 away. Big swing and a miss on the first pitch, ball in the turf, and it's 0-1. Cowell flew out to left field his first time up. Vasquez's pitch, high and away for ball 1 to even the count. That ball hit to the right side. That's going to get through. It's UNC Charlotte's first hit of the evening. Holding at second is Schaffler. So now a runner in scoring position for UNC Charlotte following the single from Cowell. And it'll bring up Dylan Peden, who struck out swinging his first time up. An elusive final out for the Panthers so far. That's an off-speed pitch. Doesn't work its way quite back into the zone. It's ball 1. Vasquez delivers. That ball skips its way in. Throw to third. In time. They got him. Out number 3. What a throw by the catcher for the Panthers. A great play by Brent Rowe, the All-American. And that'll send us to the middle of the inning. We head to the bottom of the third. UNC Charlotte threatens, but the Panthers keep them off the board. Still 2-0 High Point through 2.5. Pitching change for the for the 49ers, I should say. As the first pitch there to Oliver Cush misses the zone. It's ball 1. That one's low, ball 2. That pitch misses yet again, and it's a quick 3-0 count to the cleanup man. And a 4-pitch walk issued. Not a great start to the outing for the new 49er pitcher. It's one on quickly. And so that'll prompt a quick mound visit. Tommy Boss, the catcher. We weren't given a full lineup for UNC Charlotte, no numbers, so pardon us as we're figuring things out as we go. Brady Oswick at the plate for the Panthers. He reached on an error by the second baseman his last time up. Grounded to the left side. This one will go foul. So an 0-1 count. Nice way to start the at-bat after a quick 4-pitch walk. On the mound for UNC Charlotte. Cush takes his lead at first. Oswick grounds that one up the middle. Could be 2, 6, 4, and they won't be in time to get 3. And Oswick safe at first. So 1 away following the fielder's choice. And so it'll bring up Cam Lee, the right fielder, who just made that spectacular diving play. Quick move to first. Not quite in time. Not close, rather. First pitch, that one skied high into the air. Above the lights here at Willard Stadium, the left fielder, he'll make the catch for out number 2. Bad throw back into the infield, but unable to take advantage is Cush. So it'll bring up Cole Mitchell. Both teams 1 hit so far in this contest, but High Point up 2-0. That one's grounded up the middle, and the shortstop bobbles it. Not in time at second. And Oswick is safe. It'll be an E6, and it keeps the inning alive for High Point. Runner in scoring position with 2 away for Brian Coleman. And so now the infield will have a visit here on the mound. First pitch to Coleman, way outside, ball 1. Coleman grounded to the third baseman his last time up for the first out of the second. Big swing and a miss, and that'll even the count up at 1 apiece. And back in time on the throw from the catcher is Oswick at second base. James Harris, who singled to left his last time up, is on deck, should Coleman reach. 2-0 High Point, bottom of the third. That one gets away, And now 2 runners in scoring position for Coleman as that one was thrown at the knees. It'll make the count 2-1. Advancing to third and second on the wild pitch are Oswick and Mitchell respectively. Two one, here it is, and it's outside, ball 3. Oh, big pitch, 3-1, and he took a hack to match the occasion, and it's fouled back onto University Parkway to make the count full. 3-2, 2 outs, runners on second and third for Coleman, the 8 spot. Swing and a miss, strike 3. The Panthers strand 2 in scoring position and will head to the 4th. It's still 2-0 High Point through 3. Back out for the top of the 4th. High Point still holding on to that 2-0 lead. And a quick first pitch makes it ball 1 as that one was inside and a bit low as well. Vasquez back on the mound for his 4th inning of work. Dylan Peden, the number 2 spot for UNC Charlotte, fouls that pitch off. It evens the count up at 1. He had his last plate appearance cut short following a caught stealing by Nick Schaffler to end the 3rd. Swing and a miss, and that'll make it a 1-2 count. Good pitch that time from Vasquez. Nico delivers. Swing! And a miss, and it's strike 3. And that'll end that one for the Panthers. Nice looking pitch that time from Vasquez, and it will send us to Joey Tudors, the number 3 spot. That's Vasquez's 3rd K of the evening. And that pitch catches the inside corner for a called strike one. That one's grounded up the middle. Second baseman charging on and throwing on to first in time to make the play. Good job by Savino to get that one on to first in time, 2 away. So Sully Stevens up now in the box for UNC Charlotte. That one's inside, and he will stumble trying to get out of the way of that one. It's a 1-0 count. That one skips its way to the backstop. So count 2-0 now. Vasquez fires in a big swing and a miss to get himself back in the count. 2-1 now. Another big cut, that time from Stevens, trying to put that ball out over the fence in left field, but it's another whiff for the cleanup man in green and white. And Vasquez has a chance for his third 3-up, 3-down inning so far. Here's the 2-2. Hesitates, delivers, swing and a miss. His second K of the inning, 4th on the night, and it's out number 3. Sets down the 2-3-4 in order, and we will go to the bottom of the inning. High Point still holding on to that 2-0 lead. We'll be back in a moment. Back here, bottom of the 4th, first pitch to the 9 spot for High Point. Outside corner called strike 1. James Harris takes that pitch. High Point still holding on to the 2-0 lead that they forged in the bottom of the 1st. Both sides only 1 hit so far. As that pitch is high and away, ball 1, count even. Harris singled to left field in the bottom of the 2nd. In his first time up, the only hit of the evening so far for High Point. Pitch is outside for ball 2. A A combined 9 walks and errors so far for UNC Charlotte have put them in a hole, but it's a hole that their defense has been able to get them out of so far. Let's see if that trend continues as the count works its way to 3-1. The pitch to Harris. He'll take low and away, ball 4, and that makes the 10th free base runner of the evening through 3+ for High Point. So Harris on first. It'll bring up the top of the order. Dewitt, who has walked and struck out, and 2 plate appearances so far as Harris slides back in on the fake back pick from the catcher Bost. One 1-0 pitch. Swung on and driven into left field, but it'll be way out of play, foul. And that'll make it a 1-1 count. And that one was a defensive swing from Dewitt, but fouls it off, makes the count 1-2. See if we'll get some movement on the base pass, trying to keep the double play out of order. And anticipating that, a throw over to first to keep Harris honest, who has reached base both of his times up to the plate. The only other Panthers who can say that so far tonight are Brady Oswick and Dan Savino. Savino with 2 walks, as that one's fouled off by Dewitt. Again, Savino with 2 walks so far, and Oswick reaching on an error in the first and a fielder's choice in the third. Off and running as predicted. The pitch is behind the base runner and being waved to third, but not in time, was Harris. That's the second time that he slid head first into second base, and the ball got away from the catcher. And he could have potentially had third, but he wasn't looking for it. And so he'll remain at second base, but a runner in scoring position and a 2-2 count for Dewitt. 2-0 lead for High Point. I'm Graham Tuck, bringing you the broadcast here on the High Point Club Sports YouTube channel. Final game of the fall season for the High Point University Panthers. They have a 7-3 record this fall, as that one swung on and fouled back onto University Parkway behind us. Again, no outs in the bottom of the fourth. 2-0 lead for the Panthers. That one's driven into center field. Tagging up is Harris. Easy catch for the center fielder. Tagging for third, and he'll make his way back. The throw was a bit offline, though. Harris might have been able to make it, but it's out number 1. And then it'll bring up Dan Savino. First pitch to Savino, outside for ball 1. I don't know what it is about Savino, but these UNC Charlotte pitchers are not liking throwing him strikes so far. 5-pitch walk in the second, and another 5-pitch walk in the first. And a 1-0 count to start this at-bat. That pitch low for ball 2. That one inside, nearly hit Savino, 3-0 count. And a walk wouldn't be the worst thing in the world here for UNC Charlotte. Potentially set up the inning-ending double play. On deck is Brent Rowe, though, who's reached on an error and flown out to right. 3-0 pitch, squaring to bunt, pulling back. It's outside, ball 4 issued. And it will be the 3rd consecutive walk for Dan Savino. So 2 on, 1 away for Brent Rowe, the All-American. And now out to take a talk with his pitcher is the UNC Charlotte pitching coach. Don't think we'll get a switch here, but we shall see. They're going to stick with what they've got on the mound, so the All-American catcher Rowe gets a chance with a runner in scoring position and 1 away to advance the lead from 2 for the Panthers. Rowe does have a steal to his credit tonight. And was thrown out at home for the 2nd out of the 1st. That pitch was low for ball 1. That one roped into center field, going back the center fielder, and he makes the catch for out number 2, tagging his Harris. He's got to get on his horse, and he will still make it to 3rd in time, even having to double back to tag up for that one. I thought it was going to be over Peden's head as well, but he got on his horse to make that catch out there in deep left center field. And it's out number 2, but advancing the runner to 3rd is Rowe. And it'll bring up Oliver Cush, who struck out and walked. That one's in there for a called strike 1 to Cush. Here's the pitch. In the dirt, it's going to be ball 1 to even the count up. Last time out for the Panthers was an 8-4 win against Campbell. Looking to get a winning streak going here. That one's grounded to the left side, but foul. So a 1-2 count incoming with 2 outs. Reed, Burton, and Schaffler, the 3 due up for the 49ers when we head to the 5th, whenever that may be. That one's high into the air, left side. Runners will advance, and this one's caught by the left fielder. That's Schindler out there to make the catch for out number 3. We head to the 5th, still the way that it was when we headed to the 2nd. It's 2-0 High Point through 4. Back out for the top of the fifth, Nico Vasquez on the mound still for High Point, and why wouldn't he be? He's been very effective through four innings, 40 pitches, I should say, as that one caught the umpire behind home plate. The second baseman, Stanley Reed, in the box for UNC Charlotte, and that was ball one taken. Xander Burton on deck, Nick Schaffler due up after him, the 5-6-7. Here's the pitch. That one is driven to center field, but an easy catch is made by the center fielder. Do it for out number one. And the mentality, at some point, you'd have to think needs to shift for UNC Charlotte, because if not, then you're just going to have Vasquez pitching you the whole way, because the way he's going, could have a complete game with less than 100 pitches. And that one's outside for ball one. Burton lined to second his last time up. That one's grounded to the right side, but foul. Someone loosening up in the 49er bullpen. Here's the pitch from Vasquez, outside, ball two. That one's lined to the left side. It's going to get its way through for a base hit. Second of the game for UNC Charlotte. And it puts one aboard with one away. It brings up Nick Schaffler, who walked his last time up in his only plate appearance thus far. Was caught stealing third, though, for the final out of the third inning. It was an inning where the 49ers had 2 runners on and 2 away. And that caught stealing at third, the cardinal sin in baseball, ended the threat for the 49ers. But one trip through the lineup later, they find themselves in the same position, still only down by 2. And a chance to get a runner into scoring position here. Off and running, that's a hit and run, but it's fouled off. Out of play to the right side, and it makes the count 0-2. Quick throw back to first. Good play by the first baseman for High Point. That was Cole Mitchell to keep that ball in the infield. Time called at the plate before the pitch from Vasquez. Double play would be great for the Panthers here. Throw back to first. That one's grounded to the left side and foul. So we'll do it all over again. 0-2 still the count. That'll just miss. Oh, that was a good 0-2 delivery, but it's off the plate just by a bit. A hair, you might say. It's 1-2. Vasquez finally eclipsing 50 pitches. You see him there shaking off signs until he finds one he likes. Here's the 1-2. Just a bit low. Great spot, though, on a 1-2 count, and it's a 2-2 count now. Two-two pitch, here it is. Breaking ball, nearly caught the inside corner of the plate, and Vasquez is shocked that one didn't catch the corner. Makes the count full. And again, we might see some movement over at first as Burton takes his lead. And Vasquez, sharp-minded about that, makes a throw over. Here's the pitch. That one's fouled back into the netting, so we'll do the 3-2 over again. Lengthy at bat so far for Schaffler. Following the one-out single from Burton. And the F8 from the leadoff man in this inning, Stanley Reed. On deck is Josh Schindler, the left fielder, who struck out looking in his only plate appearance thus far. Three-two, roped into right field. Lee makes the catch for out number 2, gets it into the infield. Threat averted, and now 2 away in the inning. Solid piece of contact that time by Schaffler, but directly at Lee for the second out of the inning. And so now we're going to have a mound visit. Not quite sure what this is about with 2 outs. Vasquez hasn't looked shaky on the mound, to say the least. He's been very solid thus far as Coach Eisenberg heads back to the dugout. High Point still holding on to that 2-0 lead. 49ers with 2 hits in the game so far, courtesy of Burton in this inning. And a single from Cowell in the top of the 3rd. High Point with just the 1 hit thus far. First pitch to Schindler. That's a swing and a foul ball. It'll make it a 0-1 count. Good job by Vasquez to get ahead there. Here's the 0-1, off and running, and that one's fouled off. A hit and run was in play, but fouling the pitch away means nothing doing, so an 0-2 count here with 2 gone in the inning. And Vasquez will step off. Here's the 0-2. Oh, he got him, buckled him at the plate. 0-2 got him looking. Second backwards K of the game for Schindler at the plate for UNC Charlotte, and that is how we go to the bottom of the 5th. Strong showing so far from Vasquez. He's stranded every runner he's allowed. And the 5-6-7 due up for High Point when we come back in the bottom of the 5th. 2-0, still the lead for the Panthers. Bottom of the fifth, High Point set to bat, trying to advance upon this lead that they've held since the bottom of the first. And Brady Oswick, who's reached base both times up so far, fouls the first pitch to the right side out of play. It's strike one. We've got a new arm out there for UNC Charlotte. Third pitcher of the evening used by the 49ers so far, as that one just misses. Don't know where, but evens the count at 1. One pitch outside, evens the count up yet again. Excuse me, that makes it 2-1. I apologize. Oswick reached on an error in the first and a fielder's choice in the third. Has made it into scoring position both times up as he gives an offer to that pitch, and that will even the count up this time at 2 apiece. Lee on deck. Mitchell, the first baseman, behind him, followed by Coleman. Here's the 2-2 pitch. That one's lined right back up the middle, and it's a nice piece of hitting by Brady Oswick. And it'll be the Panthers' first base runner of the inning with nobody out. So Cam Lee comes aboard, and Oswick continues to reach base in this contest. Still waiting to see action in the High Point bullpen. Haven't seen it yet. We'll update you on that when we can. Here's the first pitch to Lee. It's high for ball 1. That one's popped up and way out of play. Back towards the concourse. It'll make the count 1-1 to Lee. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. The runner goes, and the throw not in time. It gets away from the second baseman, Reed, as well. So a stolen base for Oswick. Hit and run not successful, but taking second anyway that time. And so a 1-2 count to Lee. Wearing that number 64, the right fielder who made that fantastic diving catch in the top of the third. 1-2 pitch, skied high into center field. Ranging towards right, the center fielder, Peden, and he'll make the catch. Tagging up is Oswick. The throw, he gets down and slides, still not in time. And it gets the runner over to third with one away. It'll bring up Cole Mitchell, the first baseman. Way to do a job that time by Cam Lee. That pitch makes its way into the zone. It's a called strike 1 to Mitchell. This is a big spot for High Point runner, 90 feet away from scoring. something they haven't done since the bottom of the first when it looked like they were going to jump all over UNC Charlotte. Jumping out to a 2-0 lead before the 49ers could record an out, and since then, UNC Charlotte has found their stride defensively. And we'll have a visit at home plate. Here's the 0-1 pitch to Mitchell. The delivery. Little change up, doesn't quite get into the zone. Misses high, it's 1-1. Coleman on deck. Apologies, looks like we've got a pinch hitter here. It's going to be Vito DeMonte taking Coleman's place in the 8-hole as that one's tipped and held onto for strike 2. Swing and a miss, got him golfing down in the dirt. Throw on to first. And a good look back to third by the catcher Boss to make sure that Oswick stays where he was. It's out number 2, runner still 90 feet away, and DeMonte will be tasked with bringing him in with 2 outs. Coleman finishes 0 for 2 with a strikeout. Now with 2 away in the inning, a big spot for High Point. DeMonte, first pitch he sees of the evening, taken high for ball 1. Nothing doing for the Panthers since that leadoff single this inning by Oswick, as that pitch misses just outside. It's ball 2. That one swung on, popped up, foul play, and the catch is made by the first baseman. That's Sully Stevens for out number 3. So after the leadoff single and stolen base by Oswick to get into scoring position, High Point unable to do anything in the bottom of the 5th, and we head to the 6th. Still a 2-run lead for High Point, one they gathered in the bottom of the 1st, and we'll go to the 6th inning. New arm on the mound for High Point. First pitch from him is grounded to the left side, and it's booted by the third baseman. It's going to be an error to the third baseman. That's Brady Oswick. So Tommy Bost reaches base. And a rough start to the outing for Patrick Knapp, the new pitcher for High Point. Top of the sixth. Still a 2-0 ball game with High Point in the lead as that misses for ball one. Matt Cowell is 1 for 2 at the plate, the third baseman for UNC Charlotte. Quick throw back to first. Off and running is the runner, swing and a miss. They'll rule that he did not foul that one back. So I'll make it a 1-1 count. Oh no, they're going to send the runner back. I didn't see that call at first. So Bost will make his way back to first base. That's a good break for High Point. I didn't hear the ball hit the bat, but hey, he'll take it if you're High Point. Gonna throw back to first after the motion that last time around. Off and running again. That one hits Cowell, so now 2 on, nobody away. And a quick runner in scoring position for UNC Charlotte. It'll bring up Dylan Peden, who struck out twice in his only 2 plate appearances. Once swinging, once looking. Joey Tudor's on deck. Should Pedens be able to reach? That one's grounded to the left side. Step on third for the force. Throw back to first in time. Double play, and a great play by the third baseman. Oswick to atone for his error earlier in the inning. And the first baseman for High Point gets up gimpy. That's Cole Mitchell. But what a play from Oswick on the first pitch of the at-bat to get the lead, force out at third, and then throw on to first accurately. That's a long throw across the diamond, as I'm sure many of you know. Still 1 runner in scoring position, but now you go from nobody out to 2 outs. And Tudor's at the plate, who's 0 for 2. That one in the dirt, gets away. 1-0 count to Tudor's. Tudor's hasn't seen a lot of pitches off the plate so far. He's grounded out in an 0-1 count both times so far. In a 1-0 count this time, this is back. The center fielder ranges for it and makes the catch. Do it. Puts it away for out number 3. We'll go to the bottom of the 6th. High Point got themselves into a jam, but the new pitcher, Knapp, works his way out of it, and we head to the bottom of the inning. Still a 2-0 lead for the Panthers. Back out for the bottom of the 6th. And the first pitch to the number 9 spot, Harris, who's had himself a good day, is low for ball 1. Harris has singled once, walked once, gotten into scoring position both times up. See if he can be a leadoff man here as that ball skips its way in. Took a nice little bounce to the backstop. It's 2-0. Harris gets ready, takes that one right over the heart of the plate. It's a called strike 1, but a good take from the High Point shortstop. Christian Dewitt on deck, Savino in the hole. That pitch outside for ball 3, 3-1 count to Harris. Got himself into a 3-1 count last time around. Not afraid to swing the bat. Let's see what happens here if he'll give him something to hit. Here's the pitch. Inside corner, nice spot. And it's a called strike 2. It'll make the count full. Three-two pitch, fouled off by Harris. You get a good look at number 18 in black, High Point, wearing those black jerseys with purple and white trim, white pants. And the purple stirrups for Harris, a nice touch. 3-2 pitch again, grounded to the left side. Play made and on to first in time, out number 1. Nice play by Cowell over at third for the first out of the inning. Brings up the leadoff man for High Point, Dewitt. Center fielder has walked and scored a run, but also struck out and flown out to center. But he's worked himself deep into the count. All 3 times he's come to the plate. Worked a full count in 2 of the 3 and flew out on a 2-2 pitch in the 4th. Dewitt, one of the rare sights in baseball these days, no batting gloves. Although with the grips that you see on the bat handles most of the time these days, you don't really need them anymore, but it's still a personal choice that many players choose to take. Still a good old flesh to wood hitter, as they say. And he'll ground that one to the right side. On the backhand, second baseman can't field it cleanly, and Dewitt beats it out. Call that an E4. And it's a runner on base for the Panthers with 1 away in the bottom of the 6th. And after the last inning, Coach Todd Murphy of the Panthers gathered his guys up and started to encourage them a little bit. They got to pick up the pace offensively. They've had runners in scoring position that they've stranded. And you can't continue to do that if you're going to hold on to this lead comfortably. In fact, they've stranded 6 runners in scoring position so far. And the third baseman, Cowell, anticipating bunt, but Savino doesn't show it. It's a called strike 1. That one's high for ball 1. Off and running is Dewitt. Throw, not in time, and the ball gets away. Dewitt's going for third, and he'll make it safely at third. A runner 90 feet away from scoring with one away. And a 2-1 count at the plate to Savino to boot. Stole second base cleanly. And the shortstop, Tudors, for UNC Charlotte wasn't anticipating the throw. Got there late, throw skipped its way in. Gets away, nobody there to back up, and it's an easy two-bag steal for Dewitt, the leadoff man, and suddenly the Panthers have some trouble coming up. 2-1 count to Savino. That one's high into the air. Is it going to be deep enough to get in Dewitt is the question. Dewitt tags. Throw is not in time. High Point gets one more. 3-0 Panthers, their first tally since the bottom of the first on the sac fly from Savino. And it's a 3-0 lead for High Point. Second run scored of the evening for Dewitt. And it'll bring up Brent Rowe with nobody on. And 2 away. First pitch, that one's way inside, all the way about halfway through the batter's box. And it's a 1-0 count to Rowe. Rowe's reached on an error by the shortstop, flown out to right, flown out to center. He was caught trying to score from third on an error. And that misses. Still waiting for the first strike of this plate appearance is Rowe. It's 2-0. Oliver Cush, the left fielder, on deck. Should Rowe be able to reach base? Here's 2-0. That one's low, ball 4. Excuse me, ball 3. Umpire had originally signaled 3-0, I thought. Cush, who's on deck, has struck out, walked, and flown to left. 3-0 pitch, way outside. And hustling down to first is Rowe. I like that play there. As that ball made it all the way to the backstop, might be able to take a quick 2 on the walk. But just the 1. And so a runner aboard for the cleanup man with 2 outs. .41 in black. Cush, the left fielder, set to take the first pitch. Nobody up in the bullpen for the 49ers as that first pitch misses for ball 1. That one's in the dirt. It gets away from the catcher, but Rowe wasn't able to read it. It's 2-0. And I'm a bit shocked that there's no action in the UNC Charlotte pen. That one's grounded to the left side, fielded cleanly by the third baseman. Throw on the money. And stepping on the bag a second time just to make sure is the first baseman. Stevens for out number 3, but High Point gets one on the board, courtesy of the sac fly from Savino and the 2-base steal from Quinn Dewitt, and will head to the 7th. 3-0 High Point the score through 6. Top of the 7th, first pitch of the inning is a check swing and a foul ball for strike one, 0-1 count. Oh, that one is hammered to deep left field, all the way back and gone. Sully Stevens, the cleanup man for UNC Charlotte, will touch them all, and that makes it 3-1 High Point.
On the guy that just hit the home run.
Stevens got all of that one. Back to work. Stanley Reed at the plate, and a nice off speed finds its way into the zone. Nice way to bounce back there by Knapp for High Point. Here's the 0-1. That one swung on and grounded foul to the left side. 0-2 count quickly for Reed, who's grounded out to short and flown out the center in his 2 plate appearances. And a called strike 3 there, and a quick first out for High Point. And Reed has not done much in his 3 plate appearances to threaten. Here's Xander Burton for the 49ers. He's 1 for 2 with a single to left and a solid line out to second base in the 2nd inning. Could very easily be 2 for 2 so far. With 1 out, here's the pitch. That one is put into play yet again into left field, and the catch is made for out number 2. And so this will bring up Nick Schaffler with 2 gone in the top of the 7th. This one swung on and missed for a big strike 1. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss again on a very similar pitch, and that makes it an 0-2 count. 0-2 pitch, fouled off to the right side. And so he won't get the K quite yet, but a very nice bounce back after the home run by Knapp on the mound in relief of the starter Nico Vasquez. Patrick Knapp from the windup delivers, and it's low for ball 1. Here's the pitch. Just a bit low yet again, makes the count even at 2. That was pitch number 20 for Knapp. Grounded to the left side, play to be made by the third baseman. Oswick throw in time, out number 3. And a nice pick from the first baseman to boot. We'll head to the bottom of the 7th. 3-1 HPU. The 49ers get on the board courtesy of the home run, leadoff home run at that from Sully Stevens. But the lead back to 2 for High Point. Bottom of the seventh inning stretch over and done with for High Point. And a new arm on the mound. It's a southpaw for UNC Charlotte. First pitch of his evening, is inside 1-0. Outing, whatever you want to call it. Motion in the High Point bullpen as the 1-0 pitch skips its way in for a 2-0 count now. Brady Oswick at the plate for the fourth time today. Reached on an error, a fielder's choice. A single, I should say. And then a fielder's choice. Also has a stolen base to his credit. 2-0 pitch, high for ball 3. So a tough start for the outing for the new pitcher for UNC Charlotte. Catches the corner with that one. It makes it 3-1. Still a hitter's count, though, for Oswick, who has had himself a day at the plate. That one skips its way in, and it's ball 4. So Oswick reaches safely for the 4th consecutive time in this game. And a runner on first with nobody away. And a quick mound visit following that swift walk. Here we are, bottom of the 7th. High Point up by 2. But as we saw in the top of the 7th, UNC Charlotte not going to lay down and take this one. Got to keep adding on if you're High Point. Here's Cam Lee, who is 0 for 2 with a walk and 2 flyouts, 1 to left, 1 to center. From the stretch, lefty delivers inside, ball 1. And then a throw back to first. Seen UNC Charlotte's catcher Tommy Boss. He's done that quite a bit so far tonight. You don't see the back pick at first quite as much as you used to. But this High Point team is one that likes to run, so I don't blame them for it. That one's hammered sky high. First baseman over to play it, and he dropped it. Stevens overran it. And a new life at the plate for Cam Lee. One pitch. Great spot, but it misses the zone. It's ball 2. Three to 1 High Point in the final game of their fall season. This one is sky high yet again. Shallow center field, called off and caught by Dylan Peden for out number 1. Third fly out of the evening for Lee, and it's out number 1 in the 7th. It'll bring up Cole Mitchell, who's 0 for 2 with a fielder's choice, reaching on an error and a strikeout. Good pitch, finds its way into the outside corner, and it's a called strike 1. A 0-1 pitch to Mitchell. Excuse me, this is a pinch hitter. I correct myself. Mitchell's been taken out. This is Brandon Tuthill, the pinch hitter for the number 7 spot. He'll go in at first base, I would assume. Tuthill takes the 1-1 pitch low for ball 2. So a 2-1 count to Tuthill. That'll make it a 3-1 count to Tuthill. That was lined right back to the pitcher and caught in the double play. They'll get him at first, and that'll be out number 3 to end the 7th. Sharp play on the mound by the UNC Charlotte pitcher. That'll be how we go to the 8th. 3-1 lead for High Point through 7. We're back for the top of the 8th, and the first pitch, a new hitter for UNC Charlotte, skied to the left side. Shortstop calls off the third baseman, and making the catch is James Harris for out number 1, and a quick one at that. That'll bring up the catcher, Tommy Bost. Leadoff man Matt Cowell on deck. First pitch to Bost. Just misses the outside edge, and it's a called ball. 1-0 count. Behind the plate, Brandon Tuthill. He took Cole Mitchell's spot in the batting order, and there's a rope single into left field by Tommy Bost. It's his second hit of the day in as many plate appearances. Flew out his first time up, but he's 2 for his last 2. So Tuthill in at catcher now, behind the plate defensively, hitting 7th where Cole Mitchell, the first baseman who started, was hitting. And Brent Rowe, who started at catcher, batting 3rd, has since moved to first base. As the first pitch to Cowell is fouled back. It's a strike one. Runner goes, and the pitch hit Cowell. So we've got a dead ball situation here. Safe at second is Bost, the catcher. So now a runner in scoring position, one out. A go-ahead run at the plate with one down in the eighth. Dylan Peden, who's 0 for 3, 2 strikeouts and grounding into a double play. First pitch to Peden, he'll hold off, it was upstairs. It's ball one. One 0 pitch. Went from on top of the zone all the way through and now dropped out of the zone, and it's a 2-0 count. Knapp's got to work his way out of a pickle here. Runner goes for third. Throw. Not in time. And the delayed steal from first to second. So now 2 runners in scoring position. Tying run at second base. It was a good throw from Tuttle, but it was on the other side of the bag from where it needed to be with a right-handed batter. And so a 3-0 count to Dylan Peden, the 2-hitter, with Joey Tutors on deck. He's 0 for 3. As there's a swing and a miss on a 3-0 pitch with one out. It's a questionable decision there from Peden. And it gets Knapp back into the count. Here's the pitch. That one is in the dirt, and Peden will take his base. It's bases loaded for the 49ers. Go-ahead run on first. One away in the top of the eighth. Joey Tutors up to bat. The shortstop for the 49ers has grounded out twice, flown out once. Bags are full. First pitch, high into the air, right side. This should score one. Lee makes the catch, tagging from third. The throw won't be cut. The tag, it's in time. Out number 3. What a throw from Cam Lee, his second stellar play of the game in right field, and it keeps the inning scoreless for the 49ers. A 3-1 lead. We go to the bottom of the eighth as the Panthers have one more chance to advance upon their lead, get some insurance runs before we head to the ninth. First pitch here in the bottom of the 8th is outside for ball 1. Vito DeMonte making his second plate appearance after coming into the game in the bottom of the 5th. He popped out to the first baseman in foul territory for the 3rd out of the inning, his last time up. New arm on the mound for UNC Charlotte. And somehow that's called strike 1. DeMonte in a 1-1 count. That one's roped to the left side, and it gets through for a base hit. Strong start to the inning for High Point as they look for an insurance run or two to tack onto this 2-run lead. I mean, I don't know if he just missed the pitch, had it like blinked or what, but that was a brutal strike 1 call.
He was leaning. He was literally leaning. Get me on color for this shit.
James Harris squares to bunt, pulls back in time as the pitch missed the zone. DeMonte at first, nobody out. Harris has had a good day. He's 1 for 2 with a walk, a single, and a ground out. Been stranded in scoring position twice, though. That one gets away, and DeMonte is going to break for second. He'll get in standing up, takes a turn. And now a runner on second base and a 2-0 count. Here's the delivery. Harris squares to bunt again, but pulls back as it missed the zone yet again. So a 3-0 count. Runner still on second base, trying to get him into third as quickly as possible. Center fielder Dewitt is on deck. Savino behind him. Nobody out. 3-0 count. First baseman in. Pulling back. The ball gets away. And going for third is DeMonte. He'll get in standing up. And now a runner on third after the wild pitch. And a walk issued to Harris. Second time he's been walked today. So now runners on the corners with nobody away for the leadoff man. And this is going to prompt a mound visit. Nobody up in the pen for UNC Charlotte. Quinn Dewitt, so far today, has scored 2 runs for High Point, 2 of their 3. He's walked, struck out, flown out, and reached on an error. And we're going to have a pitching change here for UNC Charlotte as they look to hold on to this game with what they have left. Back here, bottom 8, leadoff man up, Quinn Dewitt. After the pitching change for UNC Charlotte, third baseman goes into bunt coverage as the first pitch to Dewitt is fouled out of play to the left side for strike 1. DeMonte on third, Harris on first. He is a threat to steal. Corners are in for UNC Charlotte. Harris off and running, and he's going to take second easily. He'll stand up. And now 2 runners in scoring position and a 1-1 count. One pitch. That's low. It gets away. And the hop off the backstop won't be enough. It's 4-1 High Point. And making his way to third is Harris as DeMonte scores. Pass ball is ball 2 in the count. So Dewitt still with a runner 90 feet away. And an opportunity for an RBI here. Out of the 4 runs High Point has scored, only one of them has been off of an RBI. They've scored a couple on errors, fielders' choices, but the sacrifice fly from Savino, who's on deck, is the only RBI of the evening so far for High Point. 3-1 count to the leadoff man Dewitt. Center fielder ready. Ropes that one to the right side. It's going to get through. RBI single. You must have heard me from down there, and it's 5-1 High Point. Harris in to score on the play. Still nobody out here, bottom of the 8th, and after an evening that has been lacking on the execution front for the Panthers, they come through in clutch time. Had 2 in scoring position with nobody out and made sure not to squander that chance. It'll bring up Dan Savino, who's had himself a very good night at the plate with a walk, a run scored, a sacrifice fly RBI, and 2 walks. And we're going to have a quick mound visit here with the UNC Charlotte infield. 49ers find themselves down by 4. Panthers have evened up the hit column. It's now 4 hits aside here in the bottom of the 8th. 5-1 High Point's advantage. Brent Rowe on deck, who started the game at catcher, since moved to first base. He's 0 for 3. Reached on an error, flew out twice, walked, and has a stolen base. Speaking of stolen bases, off and running is Dewitt, and the throw was off the line. Strike 1 at the plate, and safe at second is Dewitt with a stolen base. His second of the night. But Savino in an 0-1 count. Still nobody out, and yet another runner in scoring position for High Point. And UNC Charlotte dugout is deflated. Savino squares to bunt, and it's placed perfectly back to the mound. And what a play by the catcher to hop out of the way, but he may have injured his pitcher in the process. That was a very awkward-looking play from the start. Savino moves Dewitt over to third on the bunt. That was very well placed. It's out number 1, and the pitch is going to go back to the mound. Nice to see that there. It's out number 1 on the play. And it will bring up Brent Rowe. So a ball in play will likely score a run here with only one out. Infield's going to be in for the 49ers. First pitch grounded back to the mound. That's one play that won't score a run. And the first baseman has to hop to corral it, but it's out number 2. That was about the one place on the diamond that you couldn't put the ball in order to drive a run in. And Rowe grounds it back to the pitcher on the first pitch for out number 2. It brings up Oliver Cush, who is 0 for 3 with a walk. Grounded to third his last time up for the final out of the 6th. Let's see what happens here. First pitch. Outside corner, called strike 1. Oh, 1 is popped high into the air, right side. It's going to get way out of play onto the hill behind the first base dugout and make the count 0-2. The 0-2 pitch to Cush is high for ball 1. On deck is Brady Oswick. Should Cush be able to keep the inning going? If not, we'll head to the 9th, where High Point has gotten 2 insurance runs this inning to give themselves a nice little advantage of 4 runs heading into the final frame of regulation. One-two pitch. And it hits him right between the shoulder blades, so this will keep going for High Point. So that'll reset the count. Runners on first and third. And now Oswick up to the plate. He's reached base all 4 times so far. See if he can keep that rolling here. He was doubled off at first to end the inning in the bottom of the 7th. First pitch. Breaking ball, caught too much of the zone, and it's a rope single RBI into left field, 6-1 Panthers. Strong piece of hitting from Oswick, who has had a stellar night at the plate, and it continues with that RBI, and it brings up Cam Lee. Lee has been an asset, to say the least, in right field defensively, but hasn't had the night he would have imagined at the plate. He's flown out 3 times and walked once. Six to 1, the High Point lead, as the first pitch is high for ball 1. On deck is Brandon Tuthill, the only one of the 9 Panthers who has not come to the plate this inning. That one's in the dirt, ball 2. Popped up out of play. Back towards the parking lot, makes it a 2-1 count. High Point looking to end their fall season with an 8th win. They come into this one 7-3, 5-3 against the D1 clubs teams. Holding on here would make it 6-1. And that one's roped up the middle. This should score another one. Into center. Rounding third. From second is Cush, and he'll score. That makes it 7-1 off the RBI single from Lee. And a nice ending to his night at the plate as he'd struggled offensively. But you heard them from the dugout say, "You're due." And indeed he was. Getting the RBI to extend the Panther lead to 6th. Advancing their largest lead of the night. So it appears that the 49ers are going to stick with their guy on the mound. Damage has already been done, I believe. Brandon Tuthill up to the plate. Oswick on second. Lee on first. 7-1 lead for High Point. That one's grounded to left side, and it'll get foul. If that one had stayed fair, definitely would have scored Oswick, maybe even Lee from first. But it had taken a bounce in the corner. 0-1 the count. Vito DeMonte, who led off this inning and had a single on the first pitch, is on deck. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss from Tuthill. Makes it an 0-2 count. Tuthill prepares for the 0-2 pitch. 2 outs, bottom of the 8th. And Tuthill calls for time. Off and running for third. That pitch high. And it's a stolen base for Oswick as he takes third standing up. Lee remains at first. 1-2 is the count now. Catcher setting up outside. Lee's off and running, and the pitch gets away. And Oswick scores easily from third. Throw to third for Lee is off the line by a mile. Lee comes in to score. It's 9-1. A disaster keeps getting worse for the 49ers. As now 6 runs in the bottom of the 8th for High Point. Oswick scores on the wild pitch. Lee stole second and then scores from second on the error by the catcher. All of this, and it's still 2-2 at the plate. So a bases clearing wild pitch. You don't see that one very often. And Tuthill now has the bags in front of him empty with a 2-2 count. Here's the pitch. High in the air, right field. And making the play to end the inning finally is the 49ers right fielder. 6 runs up on the board in the bottom of the 8th. And High Point needed some insurance runs, and well, they got them. We'll head to the 9th. It's a 9-1 ball game. Panthers lead. heading to the top of the ninth. Roshan Sundar on the mound to pitch for the Panthers. And he's got an 8-run lead to work with. His first pitch, outside corner. Nice spot, called strike one to Sully Stevens, who his last time up hit an absolute bomb over the left field wall for what's the 49ers' lone run of the game so far, and that pitch ran in on him. Looks like it hit his wrist, forearm, not quite sure. He winces in pain and takes his base rather quickly. And I guarantee that's not intentional after the home run. Sundar listed as a shortstop and third baseman, so he's not your traditional pitcher. So control issues are not a surprise. And it looks like Stevens is going to be able to stay in the game, flexing his fist, and he'll take his lead at first. So a runner on first for Stanley Reed, who is 0 for 3 with a ground out, a fly out, and a backwards K. Off and running, and a good block from Tuthill to keep Stevens from being able to advance to third, but Stevens does make it into scoring position on the first pitch ball. So it's a 1-0 count to Reed. One ball, no strikes. The pitch down and away yet again. Make that a 2-0 count. That one's grounded to the right side. Fielded by the second baseman. Throw on to first in time, and Reed carried the bat with him all the way. But it does advance Stevens over to third, 90 feet away from scoring. Still one away, though. Stevens on third, and Xander Burton at the plate now. He'll take that first pitch down and away to the lefty. And it's ball one. That one's popped up, out of play, left side. 1-1 count, even up. 9-1 the score. High Point getting 6 of those 9 in the last half inning, the bottom of the 8th. That one's grounded to the right side. It'll stay fair. It's fielded by Rowe at first. The run does score. So Stevens scores his second run of the evening to make it 9-2 on the RBI ground out from Burton. But now the Niners down to their last out. And it'll be a pinch hitter for the 49ers, not Nick Schaffler. As I mentioned, we don't have a full roster for UNC Charlotte, so not 100% sure who's stepping in. As Sundar gets the pitch right back up to him, sliding stop by the second baseman, throw in time, and that'll do it. What a play to close things out by Dan Savino, who had himself a day at the plate, had 2 RBIs, a run scored, reached base every time that he wasn't hitting the sacrifice fly, and he makes the game-saving play, game-ending play, and that'll do it. 9-2 the final. High Point closes out their fall schedule with a win, and a big one at that over another D1 team to finish 8-3 on the fall schedule, and that'll do it. We'll bring it back to you in the spring when the Panthers hit the diamond again. Again, I've been Graham Tuck. Final score, HPU 9, UNC Charlotte 2.